engineer or a graphic designer, like, and you're not on social, you still have to have a brand, and your brand could be your LinkedIn or your resume.
Yeah.
So we all have to be brand conscious in this society that we live in if we want to survive.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to The Empire, where we like to engage with everyone from pastors to actors, rappers to trappers, and everybody in between. And you better know what. If you didn't know what, it's going to be what? We got another great guest. But before we get into it, y'all should know the deal if you guys haven't known about it already. Come on, man. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you've been digging this work, share it, man. Comment down below. My name's Antonio Dimas, yes, your host for today. Man, if you guys even want to help us even more, get this off the ground, get more things, if you guys like what we're doing, man, you guys can support us with them digital greenbacks, which is our CashApp, $THEE Empire Podcast, also Venmo, THEE Empire Podcast, and also PayPal.me/The Empire Podcast. All will be in the description if y'all need it, right? But let's get to the good stuff, right? Which is not about the podcast, but the great people that we get to have on, you know, and I hope you guys been having fun. We've been having a great time. We're learning so much about these individuals, and we got another great gentleman on today, you know, and you might know him. He's an artist, an entrepreneur, and a coach. His name is Elwin Coleman. Welcome to the Empire, Elwin.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here, brother.
Man, glad to have you. You know, sometimes I want to say Edwin or Elwin, like a different. I don't want to say Elwin sometimes. Did that ever happen to you? I feel like that might happen
Owen,
more.
Edwin, all of that. Yeah, my dad has a twin named Edwin. So,
You're joking?
Nope. So,
wow.
Yeah, I get all that. And when I was doing my call center stuff, that's always Owen. So I would go with it. Yep.
Okay, Owen.
So whatever, call me what you want.
Gotcha. I'm gonna call you by your rightful name, man. Well, what do you want? What do you want me to call you?
Well, I mean, my hood nickname coming up that my mom named me is Man. So
okay.
If you call me Man, I'm gonna look and be like, is that my grandma? You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
My sister or something. But the homies just call me Win.
Okay.
Xbox homies call me L Dash, L Boogie, you know, so just have fun with it, just be respectful, and you know, it's all endearing, because when you have those nicknames or aliases for people, that mean like you really know them or you cool with them, you know.
Got you.
Like I hear Drake's friends, they just call him the boy.
The boy?
Yeah.
Got you. Man and the boy. Interesting.
Yeah.
Great. That's kind of, so grandma gave you the name Man?
My mom, yeah.
Mom.
Because I act like I'm grown up as a kid, I guess, but you know, it stuck. So
okay.
People that know me from childhood, they'll just call me Man. Like if I go back to Chicago, it's like, what's up, Man?
Got you. You're like, well, I was just thinking like in our world where it's like, you know, I no longer go by Man, I go by non-binary. You know.
Yeah. Like one time I was at Complex Con and I saw Dre 3000 and I fanned out, you know, and he was walking. And I was like, I don't know why I said it, but I was like, Andre Benjamin. He looked at me like, he looked back like, am I his grandma or something?
That part.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's like, I felt so close to him, I could call his full name.
Yeah. So
it's like, your social security number is 729. Oh, it's so awesome, man. So Elwin, I'm gonna call you Elwin because I feel like I guess when I get down with, I guess can't do El Boogie because I think that's what they call Lauryn Hill, El Boogie. Yeah. Shout out to you, Lauryn Hill. Miss Hill if you're nasty, I guess what they say. Elwin, you know, how's your day been today, man? Kind of a gloomy day.
Yeah. I mean, not too gloomy for me, but in California-wise, you know, we used to that great sun, but having a great day, man. Having a great week, a great life. I'm just, you know, I battle with a lot of things that we all battle with, depression and anxiety and all those things. That's a constant everyday thing for me.
Okay.
But if you ask me how my day is going, I'm gonna tell you I'm blessed, and you know, I got my Bible passage in today, and I'm just staying positive, and I want to put that out there for me and everybody else. So
I love that. What was the passage?
Oh shoot, I just used Bible Gateway, which I really recommend for anyone. Bible Gateway is super dope. It has every edition, and it'll give. So today I just picked up the passage of the day. I forget which book and chapter, but it's the one where it talks about reaping where you sow. It talked about I'll just tell you the message I got from her was
Yeah,
really,
please,
and I didn't
please.
want to make this a whole like a religious thing, but
Hey,
we're talking.
yeah, we talking.
Yeah, but what it was just saying is just carry the load, carry the burden for your brother, your fellow man, but also make sure you're worried about making sure you're taking care of yourself, and that we're basically each other's keeper, and we help each other carry the burden for each other. So
Yeah.
that's big for me. I got some people in my life that are going through some trying times mentally. And it spoke to me because I want to be there for my people, but I also got to protect my own mental health and things like that.
Facts,
Yeah.
facts.
So
Like, basically, you know, basically it's very simple. Like, how could you help someone if you can't help yourself? Take care of yourself, right?
right.
I even saw something recently. It was kind of cool. Like, this guy had a glass of water, and he said, "Okay, let's say your glass of water is half full. That's your energy." And then he had all these empty other glasses, right? He's like, "Okay, let me pour my water into some family. Let me pour some water into my job. Let me pour some water into my friends." And then his glass was like empty, basically. And he's like, well, you got to make sure that you're full before you can start pouring into everybody else, because eventually you can basically be
Right.
empty. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I'm 100% for that. And I do think, so I have this saying, which is like, you can't hug yourself and you can't massage your own back.
Mm.
You need someone to do that for you. Or we all need somebody
Right.
to do that for us. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Makes me think of me and my fiance, because we do each other's backs, but also like I just picture like gorillas cleaning each other's backs or something.
Okay, getting the ticks off.
Yeah.
Free food. I'm just now. I don't even know what your fiance looks like, but I'm just imagining like picking like and like just eating off her back. Like, babe, that Panera bread is fire. You missed some stuff. Elwin. So for people who may not know who you are and what you do, can you please tell us all who you are and what you do, man?
Well, I try to not go off on a tangent, but simply, I'm an artist. I'm a creative. I'm a human. I'm a Black person in America. Also have Native American roots and lineage that I don't really know the ancestry to, but that's like a big part of me. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But for all the boxes of the world, I'm an artist. I'm a hip hop artist. Prefer not to be called a rapper.
Okay.
And I'm exploring. I have several projects. I've been doing hip hop since 2003, because I'm 36, bro. So
Okay.
I've been doing this for a while. I've mastered the craft, and I have the catalog, and I continue to make music, just as not trying to get on or blow up or anything like that. Just sticking in my core fans, growing my core fans, and creating the art that helps me get by. Because without expressing myself, I'm just not a whole person. And just having a respect for the craft and wanting to be great at it. So I definitely recommend any hip hop fan check out my music. But I'm also just exploring other genres. I want to get more into singing. I recently went to a show at Hollywood Bowl, Def Cat for Cutie and Postal Service, and I was just really inspired to start to just embrace my voice and my innate skill set more and more. Other than that, I find other ways of expression. I do have a clothing line, which I mean, it really just started as merch because people were like, "Hey, want to rock some merch?" So, but from there, it became a whole thing, Winlife Clothing, and I've done multiple drops, collaborations, and work with different designers. But it's just more of my passion project, and yeah, also have a podcast like you where we're not like you, different. Mine's not on the. I'll give you props because mine's not on that level yet. It didn't have a visual component, but
And it's not necessary either.
it's not necessary. But
Yeah.
I really, for my season 3 of the Win Life podcast, I want to do that. Like watching podcasts like yours inspired me to do that, because I know it's not required. I know a lot of people just listen to audio, but for me, I like to see the visual. So I want to do that as well.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, just a creative overall and a hard worker. I do have a day job or day jobs and careers and all that stuff, but I generally am in the tech realm, working for different ISPs and just brushing up on my certs and things like that, just like everybody else, making sure I get my Roth IRA maxed out, my 401k, my pension, things that rappers aren't gonna come up here and talk about.
Not many rappers talk about pensions. I will say that for sure.
But it is important because there isn't that in hip hop.
True. I think there's a conversation about trying to get like health insurance for rappers that are in the industry, like because they don't have insurance. I think Chuck D is the one that's behind that one, who's trying to do that. For people who don't know what an ISP is, can you kind of explain what that is?
Okay. So ISP is just an internet service provider. You might not know what that acronym is, but you use it when you're on your phone or you're online at home. So a big part of my life has been the internet since Windows 95, if anybody remembers AOL.
Yeah.
And I got my first computer in the family and I just went crazy on the internet. And then once cable internet came out in when I got it, at least 1999, we were early 2000 maybe. And that just allowed you to use the internet at high speed. And this is over 20 years ago. So
True.
I was getting all those softwares, pirating, the Morpheus, Kazaa, LimeWire era. And, that was just the content side, but I would also sit there and tinker and go in the BIOS of a computer and mess it up and have to rebuild it type stuff.
Yeah.
So that's just always been a part of me. And then, that does play a part in the music and, because even this podcast, we have to have a set, we have to have a camera, we have to think about angles and data and all that. The viewer might just see something dope on YouTube, but there is something that goes into creating this content. So I'm always trying to just get those skills and just stay current and evolving. And also it's just something that's innately in me to just want to consume knowledge. I woke up at 3 a.m. last night and I was just watching an hour video about CTE, concussions in the NFL. And I just was learning from some doctor. So you know how we can be.
Yeah. You stopped, but I was gonna, he stopped, right, folks? He was going and then, what happened? What happened to his thought?
Yeah.
We got to wind him back up. Doom. He's like, I'm talking too much. No, you're not. You're good, bro.
So yeah, just,
Got you.
Just a well-rounded person, bro.
I love it. A couple things. I want to get to the CTE first part. It's crazy because football's been going on for a long time, and they say every play is a car crash. Every hit's a car crash, right? And so people don't think the after effects, the long-term effects of these people, right? And I actually wrote a paper on it recently for the school about I don't think children should be allowed to play contact sports, like football, for example, because you're affecting them long term. I think it should only be allowed if the parent signs an agreement and the child signs the agreement if they're under 18, right? Because otherwise, you're pre-damaging the child before they can even fully develop their brain and everything.
There have been kids that have died from it already.
Yep.
And a lot of suicides as well because
the mental, right?
Mm-hmm. So it is very serious.
Yeah. So I wrote a paper on it's wild, and and then these football players, these athletes don't have health insurance, I guess indefinitely, I guess you could say, after the fact, right?
I don't know if they've changed that now, but I know before. But I think the NFLPA may have
changed it. Okay, let's hope. Let's hope. I also, we talked about, or you spoke about being creative, right? And so, how well has being a rapper and creating and doing all this music stuff help with the depression and the anxiety that you mentioned earlier? How much does that help with it?
100%. It's a way to avoid it, essentially, instead of just you can wait till you're depressed, manic, and I've been in the most horrible states where I can't eat for a week, I can't function, usually just brought on by negative thoughts, and you get into these episodes. I haven't had those in years because I work at it, but to get out of those states, I would literally have to put on Miles Davis,
nice,
paint, cry, Millie Jackson, whatever. You have to really dig into the soul, right? And to me, it's a science, it's an art, but it's a science to getting out of these states because I've dealt with it so much and it runs in the family. So I'm even helping my grandma, like she having panic attacks, and I'm like, yo, watch this meditation, grandma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling my boy, like, yo, let's pray, anything. But I think creating art regularly is preventative. It's almost like, it's like taking your medicine, and if there is a right way and wrong way to do it. You have to make sure that in your music you're exploring the inner realms of yourself. Like you're going and we can have party music, we can have whatever, turn up music, drug music, whatever you make. And maybe you're an artist who don't even release conscious music, right? That
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
fit your brand, but that doesn't mean you can't in your own privacy do that, put out that stuff, or not even put it out, just record it. Or if you're like I said, an artist that doesn't do that content, maybe just put on some beats or put on some keys, like some keyboard music, and then just freestyle. And when you're freestyling or you're singing freely, just start to tackle your thoughts, like let it out, and you'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh snap, like I was feeling that, like oh I'm going through that, and it's not gonna completely like resolve it or get rid of the issue, but it starts to put it out there. It starts to sort of like lift it off you, and then it's on you if you're gonna do like the other work, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and we could get into the other work, but I think that's how the art helps, because it will kind of like bring everything to the surface in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can basically address it and kill it, basically.
Hmm.
I like what you kind of said, which is like, about the depression, about how like it can basically be like a dark cover that just keeps wrapping over you, and you can kind of just go deeper and deeper into it if you allow yourself to go into it. And you kind of
Definitely.
have to be mindful and catch yourself and get out of it. Like only like you have to force yourself or use tools that you can only create to get out of it. Right? Am I saying
Yeah,
that correct?
you're putting it right.
And I totally agree, because it's like in my opinion, a lot of it is like self-imposed. I mean, I realize
Yep.
it's like self-imposed.
How you feel about yourself,
Yeah.
how you talk to yourself,
Yeah.
because I have had a lot of negative self-talk, and when I go through those states, a lot of it is accompanied by just shitting. Sorry,
Yeah. No, you could. Go
just
ahead.
shitting on myself, and it's just a no-no. So even for my friends, like I had a friend going through that, and he's so mean to himself, and then I just tell him, stop talking to yourself like that. You're just gonna manifest it. You're just gonna create that reality. You're just gonna feed the beast.
Yeah.
And then in the same breath, if you do the opposite, I am great, I am brilliant, I am the
Yeah.
best, woo, woo, woo. You can manifest the other side. And not to say that just talking all that positivity is going to manifest it. Of course, it comes with the work, but you can amplify it by just being positive. Like it's a science to it. Like you can basically increase those frequencies. And I mean, we all want to be happy. No one wants to be in these states. And when you're in these states, it might seem tough to get out of it. And if you feel like shit, you're not gonna want to be like, oh, I am happy and woo woo woo. But you really gotta fake it till you make it. You really gotta just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's facts, because I think in the Bible, I think if we're gonna go like to scripture, I think it says like a man is who he thinks it. A man is who he thinks he is, basically. So basically, you are who you think you are.
Hmm.
You manifest who you are. And I even have in my book right here, 10 Things, a chapter called "Be Kind to Yourself," right? Because we have to be kind to
Is that the book
ourselves.
that's on Amazon?
It's also on Amazon. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Quick plug.
Yeah, we have to be kind to ourselves. It may one of the things sections it says like we'll be kind to a puppy that comes to us. We'll be kind to a stranger, but we won't be kind to
Right.
ourselves.
Right.
How does that make sense? Make that make sense. And so we have to be kind to ourselves. Which I think is crucial, because we only live one life, and why aren't we being kind to ourselves? What's the reason?
I'll say personally, for me, it's always me wanting more from myself, me thinking I'm capable of more, me being disappointed if I just didn't give my all or do everything in my power to get where I should be.
Gotcha.
Right. Like today, if I were to skip this interview because I just wanted a game, I might feel bad about it, and I might say like, oh, I'm holding myself back from success. I don't want to take the steps. So some of it is like when you want something so bad for yourself and you want to be great, you put a pressure on yourself. But we have to find ways to do that in a healthy way, because I think that you do have to push yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have to push each other to be great, but it has to be done in like a productive way.
Definitely.
Right? Like, you can have a coach that just yells at you and cusses at you and bites your head off and they're spitting and choking you and they're not going to get the results. But you can have that coach that just know, like, they give you that look and you're like, oh, and
Yeah,
you
that's
know
the
how.
one.
Yeah.
And I think I agree with that, the coach thing for sure. I think and the coach has to know which tactic works per player.
Know
'Cause-
thyself, because we're
yeah.
coaching ourselves in this scenario.
Yeah, because as a coach, if you're like for a basketball team or a football team, not every player will respond the same way to each type of method, right? And you're a coach, you probably know that as well when you're coaching, which we'll get into. I'm not going to talk to you about that. But, not everyone responds to the same tactic. You have to approach different people different ways.
So in this situation, you're the coach and the player.
Yeah.
And you got to know how to coach yourself.
That part. You
I
gotta-
never heard this thought expounded upon, so I think it's dope we came to this.
Hey, that's what we're here, man. That's what we're here. I'm a big component on problem solving, and because there's always problems in the world, and I think the heroes of the world solve problems, and the men of the world solve problems, and the first step is talking about it, and sometimes you never know how a conversation about it can lead to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Elwin, can you give us all a brief story about where you grew up, how you grew up, all the way up to where we are today?
Yeah,
As
well,
brief as you can.
it's a very cliche rapper story because I grew up in the hood, right, on 58th and King Drive. So we're in California, but this podcast is out to the world. So I would just say, like, y'all probably know where O Block is, where Dirk and Vaughn and them are.
Got you.
O Block. So that would be like 64th. So I was on 58th. If you know where Washington Park is, where they have the Buck Billiken Parade, I grew up right across the street on King Drive. And
For people who may not know, where is that?
that's in Chicago. Okay, I should have said that first. So yeah, I'm a Chicago native, South Side, North Side, and it was a rough upbringing. Lots of all the elements that we all are aware of. I'll just capture it like this. When I was a kid, I used to collect bullet shells in my backyard on my dirt lot as for fun. Me and my brother just collect all the bullet shells from the shootout the night before, because where we live separated the GDs and the BDs, so they had their shootouts.
Gotcha.
And that was like a hobby. Like, that was a normal kid playing, you know? And if you just think about how messed up that is psychologically. But I remember I brought the box to my mom, and I'm like, look, Mom, got bullet shells, and just the look in her face. And then she actually did get us out, and we moved to the suburbs of Chicago for a while. And I loved it. I moved in Park Forest, and I got to live like a suburban life, like sleepovers, don't lock the door. Oh my God, like Nintendo 64, 4 players. Like, it was the best, man.
Mario Kart.
GoldenEye. Thank you. But we ended up losing the house, just being bad financially, and then we had to move back on 58th because my stepdad's mom owned that building. But now we in the basement, so it's even worse. We got bars on the window, and then it just got bad, man. My mom she died from heroin. So I think she was a great mom. I just think the elements of where I grew up at.
Of an
got her.
overdose? Heroin overdose?
Yeah, and she had the same anxiety and panic that she passed on to me. It's just I got the tools now to deal with it. But even when I was seeing my psychiatrist, they were like, yo, you can be a candidate for opiate addiction and alcoholism. So you got to take it serious because it's just like you're trying to numb yourself and you're trying to feel okay. And even right now, I'm full of energy. I'm sweating, but I know it's excitement, and I'm just happy to be here. So I know how to.
It's good energy.
It's good energy.
Yes.
So from there I ended up moving back up north side Chicago, staying with like grandmas, with my dad's son. He started being more in my life because my parents were split up before I was even born, And then from there, when I finally got into high school, I just vowed, like, I used to just write mantras like, I will be successful. I don't know, something turned on in me because I always been like super bright. Like, I knew multiplication and all that, like in preschool, one of those savant type smart kids.
Prodigy.
But I was a finesser. So what I
Okay.
did was, in
Hey.
first grade, I was like, yo, I'm not going to take this serious. I'll wait till high school. I literally told myself in first grade, I'm going to dick around through until I get to high school because this stuff don't matter.
Got you.
And
You
so
remember that?
I remember that.
Wow.
And I used to finesse my mom. I remember being in first grade and they're like, you got satisfactory because they give you that. And I was like, what does that mean? I wasn't satisfactory. But yeah, so once I got to high school, I turned it up. And I just, got into the IB program, International Baccalaureate program, just pushing because I wanted to get the F out of my environment, man. And got into college with the Posse Scholarship. It's a leadership scholarship. It hooks up minorities as well because it was helping with the affirmative action programs at certain universities. But I ended up going to University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Wow.
You familiar with them?
No. I was just thinking a big change from Chicago.
Yeah, big change. But 40,000 students. If you're familiar with the Badgers in the Big Ten football,
Okay.
that's them. It's a huge university, top 10 school. So I graduated from there with a degree in philosophy,
Interesting.
which in retrospect, it was a dumb move because it's what they call Anton Daniels will call it a basket weaving degree unless you're going to do something with it like law. But truthfully, I did that because there was this question in high school. I was in my IB program. There's this theory of knowledge class I took, which was my first philosophy class essentially. And the question was, why is there something rather than nothing?
Okay.
You got an answer?
Do I have an answer? Because it is.
Okay. So my answer became God. That's all I could think of. What is creation before creation? How do you have creation without a creator? Whatever you call that. So that literally sent me down like an esoteric rabbit hole.
I was going to say, yeah. He was like, bro, shit.
So I basically I went to college trying to find God in a way through intellect. And, I did a lot of ethics classes, religious studies stuff. I can prove God, through thought experiments and things like that.
Okay.
But in terms of like the job force, career-wise, it did nothing for me because I didn't do anything with the degree. But it looks good, like when I do, it's good just to have that degree, just for people.
You said you can I prove that God exists through thought process, you said?
Yeah.
Can you give us an example?
I did already.
Oh, because creation, how can there be something without a creator?
I'm gonna leave it at that. Yep,
Okay.
Oscar's razor says the simplest solution, right? So
Okay. Who says that?
I always
said
pronounce it wrong, and my fiance tells me it's Occam's razor.
Okay.
It's a philosophical theory that essentially says, sorry y'all can correct me, but it's a philosophical theory that basically says the simplest answer is the best answer.
I agree.
So
I agree.
So I could go down like a 30-line proof to prove God, or I could give you the simplest one, which would be, why is there something rather than nothing?
Got you. And the answer was God exists because how could something exist without a creator? I like it. All right. Continuous. Well, you went to school from Wisconsin, got a degree in philosophy.
Yeah.
Continuous to how we got here.
I struggled a couple years, just like I got out of school. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to be a famous rapper.
Okay.
And just a dumb, naive mentality on what it takes to be a big famous rapper.
So how'd you get into rap? Where did that come from?
We got to go back.
There we go.
Back to preschool.
We skipped. There we go.
That's the easiest way I'll put it. In preschool, first 3 words: cat, dog, OPP.
Got you.
No cap.
Got you.
So
Naughty by nature we're talking about? Okay.
I remember my preschool teacher just looked at me because I didn't know what OPP stood for.
Yeah.
I just knew the song, and so it's always been there. It's been influenced by my family. I had a stepbrother my aunt was super into it. My stepbrother was super into it. So anytime those albums dropped, I remember when Puff Daddy and the Family dropped and he left and he said, don't touch my CD. And I went and snuck in there. But even before that, I remember being 3 and I think it's Easy Does It or Compton City G's or something. It's the one that goes, Compton. I remember my stepbrother, his grandma took the tape and I was maybe 3. And just hearing that at such a young age, I was already exposed to it. And then there was that level of, you shouldn't have this. So it's always been there. I remember I bought the Warren G album. I guess I liked a lot of California music early.
It's like, whoa, interesting, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
What, for people who may not know, what does OPP stand for?
You can tell me.
Hey, I asked the question,
You don't
man.
know? Other people's privates. And I also thought OP was a word because OPP was a word, but that's just the child's mind, I guess.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, it's just always been the art form that I loved. More recently, I've just been really disgusted with the culture.
Okay.
And I mean,
Mainstream wise, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I won't just say everybody, but yeah, just what's put out there to the masses. Yeah. But I think it's more so that I'm becoming older and, I sound like my parents, and I'm also embracing my faith more. So I even listen to like faith driven hip hop. And, but I think just the hyper marketization, if that's a term, like just the over marketing of the whole genre is just, just kind of killed the magic for me. But I still love it to this day. And for instance, when the new Drake album was coming out, I was so excited and I stayed up till midnight and I was sad that I had to wait till 3 a.m. And was I disappointed when it came out? Yes.
Okay.
Did I still get hype? Yes. So, yeah. So.
Did you listen to the whole album already?
I did.
Got you. Thoughts?
I don't want Drake to get mad at me. I know he's coming at people that don't have the best reviews, but yeah, I think I'm just older and I just like the heavy lyrics and I don't know, I was trying to listen to a song and he was like Papa Addy and Slide on the Op, and I was like, what?
Interesting.
And I know the Ops is from my city, fuck the Ops is a whole thing. And if you listen to my album from 2017, I have a song called Love the Ops. And it's where I do it with my homie Meech from Chicago too. And it's about, coming together, not effing the Ops. So when I hear a guy my age and I know he's not really from that, and they're just talking about taking drugs and sliding on people, I can't pretend like I'm for that. And I guess if it was more authentic, it would be cool. But I like the Drake, some people don't like it, but I personally like when Drake talks about shit I can't even fathom, when he be like, haha, BBs, I'm at the Ritz in the suite and we flying on this. And, I'm like, damn, I can't relate, but it's
he's being authentic.
And it's inspiring.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. Inspiring. So let's continue. You left school and you're like, I'm going to be a big time rapper.
Right.
Yeah.
So the gravity set in. So I just, I got a job and I started, had to go to a temp service, started working in the office, just doing clerical mailroom.
Okay.
With this degree,
Here's your mail, sir.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then from there, I got a job with a internet service provider in Wisconsin and just started getting my bag finally. Gotcha. And I was able to stack to move out here. And once I got out here, I started to embrace the music scene. Before I even moved out here, I already had plugs just using the internet.
Gotcha.
I was on Reverb Nation when that was still a thing for me. Just looking for Riverside artists, messaging them, linking. So by the time, before I even moved here, people already knew about me, just using the internet. And I already got shows lined up and everything.
Wow.
So the internet, I'm
powerful.
telling you, yeah, especially when you know how to
use it. Yeah, agreed. Why California and why Riverside?
Well, my fiance got into her graduate program in Riverside, but I was planning on LA just because.
Of course, LA.
The 3 W's, right? Women, weed, and weather.
Ah.
And so it's always been a dream of mine, just a California dream. And my stepbrother, his mom used to live out here and he would come out here when he was younger. So he told me little bits about how it was out here. So I think I had it in my head. But yeah, that's just kind of why I wanted to get out here and just be on the scene. Before I went to college, I was planning on going to Columbia College in New York. And but I ended up getting that scholarship and I went with the money.
Of course,
right.
Why not?
Exactly. Yeah. So that New York rapper, J. Cole path was gone. I already had some connections out there. like Jimmy Henchman. I don't know if you guys know about them, like the Czar Entertainment. There's
Sounds
they're like
familiar, yeah.
street dudes, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I had some connections there.
With
So
those peoples.
right.
Okay.
But just, ended up in college, and the music, it took a back seat. I was still putting out records, but I kind of just lost myself from an artistic standpoint, even though I was still putting out music. But yeah, once I got out here, it was just a plan to embrace it. So I already started making connections, started doing the Chitlin circuit.
Yeah.
And had my own like listening party. And like when I first got out here, I was like, Mission Tobacco Lounge. It's not there anymore, but I passed it. You familiar with that?
Yeah, in downtown.
Mm-hmm.
They recently took it down, or has it been down for a while?
They changed it to a new business. I was over there the other day and it was
Interesting.
gone. But when I first got here and I saw they had like Immortal Technique perform there and all this stuff, and I was like, I will perform there one day. And then I started doing shows for that place, like having my own events. I started a record label, Moving Entertainment, with Cali G and Master Green. If y'all might, some locals might know. And we turned out, like we was doing our own events. We were really locked in on the music scene, but we just ended up parting ways. Life happening to people, creative differences. And then also I wanted to really focus on myself as an artist, because at the label I was managing every other artist, including myself, from a social media and marketing standpoint, doing the websites, the releases, the post. And I just wanted to put all of that into myself. So once I left that, I just started my Winlife stuff up and just started really just pouring into me, filling up my cup, like you said.
Yeah, smart. What did you learn from managing all those artists and doing all those things? What did you learn?
I got better at the skill set, definitely just doing it more, doing it for other people. Learned how to just look at things not from my lens, from other demographics, because the artists I would work with would have different styles and sounds that had different demographics. For instance, Ed Rum was one of the artists, and he's a horrorcore rapper. So it was more like Juggalo stuff and like something I don't even know about that stuff. Like, I'm like, Jesus, what is this?
Yeah.
But, it just got me open-minded, and he's a great guy. And then I have to see how their fan base works and their events. And that, just from a negative side, I would just say I just learned like everyone has an ego and everyone wants to be the star when even if they say otherwise. Now, I won't say everyone, but a good amount of people.
80%.
Right. So, and then just a lot of the things rub me the wrong way. Just nothing wrong with people, but I think when they're put in that situation of having that attention, that they just don't deal with it in like an appropriate manner. Just to say that nicely.
Got you. Well, can you be real with us? Can you give us an example of what didn't rub you right? Or you can be straightforward with us, man.
Just artists thinking, I won't be specific with names, but artists thinking they're the stars, thinking that they're entitled to your time or for you to do something for them. And even putting in your money, because I was funding so much of this. So, and then them just not knowing what like goes into something.
Got you.
Because they're just
there.
Right. And they may just do the music part, but that's 1% of it.
There's a whole back end to it. So basically the entitlement.
Entitlement. And not realizing what it takes for something to happen.
Yeah.
Because they haven't done it. And most of them still probably haven't done it,
to this day. Yeah, the same people 10 years ago or whatever.
Right.
Wow. Hey. Maybe they'll learn.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll learn. I'm a big oh, go ahead. We can say
I was just going to say, I just don't think that this is for everybody, because it is a way of life. So we all can have that moment, maybe a place in time where it's like, oh, I want to do this, or I want to try this business. Like, I've tried lots of things in my life that didn't pan out, but certain things, they just don't leave you. And that's just been music since Cat Dog OPP.
That part. I like that. Elwin, let's say, for people who haven't heard your music yet, how would you define your style?
I'll put me up there with Cole and Kendrick, basically. Like Kendrick, Cole, L, like that style, like that sound, but my own sound, just genuine hip hop. But I always make sure like it slaps, like the production is quality, and I pay attention to what's going on because I don't want to isolate, and I don't want to just only have my current fan base. I want to reach all demographics, all kids, all people. So I'll say I have a universal sound. But yeah, if you have to like go on Spotify, fans may also like J. Cole, Kendrick, JID, that type of
That's
sound.
how,
Yeah.
you know,
And I'm proud to say that because I look up to those guys and I work hard to be in the same breath of those guys, even if it's not from a popularity standpoint.
I got you. You know, it made me think because you said you're getting more into like, I'm assuming you're a Christian.
Yeah.
Is there a possible Elwin Christian hip hop album? Is that a possibility in the future?
Possibly. I'll say I'm already have been shifting my content. I don't know if it will just be like, oh, this is a Christian work, but I think it's just gonna be a hip hop album from a Christian. I'll put it like that.
Okay, I like that.
So
Like
I've like,
Kanye West.
yeah, that's a great example. Right. Like Kanye West. That's my favorite artist of all time. Like I was playing the Kanye mixtapes before they even let him rap. Like I would bring him to school on my Sony Discman.
Yeah.
So he's from Chicago and I always like looked up to him. So yeah. Where was
Okay. We were talking about the style, and that's what you mentioned. And you know, I really liked. I can't even think of the name of that Christian album that he came out with.
Donda or Jesus is King?
Jesus is King. So I really like. There's a specific live performance that he has of it, and I just
The
listened to
Sunday
that one.
service.
Yeah, it's a specific Sunday service. It's in a specific place, and it's just
Is it like dark room with like a
no. It's kind of like in a stadium.
okay.
Yeah, it's like in a stadium, and it's just. I think he brings his daughters on to sing a couple of the lines, but that version is the version that I love so much of that one, and it's just amazing. And I wanted to get back to you, Elwin, about, you know, I listened to the song Good, and then I also listened to the song Good Things Come to an End, and they're two different styles, right? What was the writing process for both of them, and what was your mindset basically for both of them?
I really can't remember the writing process for Good Things Come to an End, but that's probably like my most streamed song. And sometimes I'm a Kanye West fan, so I love samples. So if one of my favorite songs of all time is Frank Ocean, Bicycles. You know the song?
I have to.
I'm biking, I'm moving slow mo.
No, I don't know. I've been sleeping on Frank Ocean, bro. I hear a couple things by him, and I'm like, man, he's fucking dope. I need to listen to more Frank Ocean.
I don't know every song, but I think he one of the most talented artists ever, just from some of the stuff I heard.
Yeah.
Like some of the patterns on that song I can't do. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do that. But
And he sings too, right?
yeah, he's a singer.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, he's amazing, man. But yeah, that song actually samples that. So all you got to do is sample one of my favorite songs, and it's gonna bring it out of me. So yeah, I guess I don't really have a story behind that one, but it is like a very introspective song that just came from the heart. And sometimes I'll cry about it because it'll remind me of my cousin who passed away from COVID. And I'll shout her out, Lanika Strozier. She died a few years ago from COVID, and she's like, she was a scientist.
Okay, wow.
She was doing research on like birds and all type of stuff, and she had crazy degrees, and she started, in learning disability, so just crazy where she came from. And she had an exhibit at the Field Museum in Chicago, and her whole own exhibit. And like I went to visit it and everything. But so yeah, that song always reminds me of her. But Good is something more easy. Like it was just like a hard song. And then I always try to make sure that I can, please that's more for the people, just to like please people that like to hear something hard. So, and I make a lot of music, so I want to try different stuff. Like sometimes I just want to kill something, and that's what Good is, just a hard beat,
True.
And before I even put it out, like it started resonating because I'll send it to my tastemakers, I guess I'll call them, and they was liking it. And my boy's a DJ in Florida, and he sent me a video of him playing it at one of his shows, his clubs. And I'm like, yeah, got to put that one out. So, because I have a lot of songs I don't put out, but if that was chosen like that, I was like, let's see what it do.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Is there a process for you when you pick the beats that you want to use?
They pick me. I'll put it like that because I
Okay.
just vibe to them and see what happens, and I write to different beats. So it's I think that's the best way to get in flow state.
Okay.
It's just let the beat speak to you. Because if you sit there and be too like conscious about it, it's gonna it's not gonna be as dope or smooth. And that's why like a lot of rappers who don't write come up with some raw stuff, but it's not like well thought out sometimes. So I kind of like mend the two. Like I let the thoughts flow, but then I put words behind it. And a lot of the elite artists, I feel like that's how they do it.
Okay, agreed. Are there any artists or producers that you would love to collab with?
There are tons. I mean, I would love to work with Kanye West, of course.
Okay.
I know he not really trying to work like that with people, but yeah, like
Hey.
Kanye.
You never know, Elwin. You never know, man.
I mean, I would love to. I think that if I would name one person, it would be Kanye. But I would like to work with a lot of people, man. Like I'm liking working with you. I seen a band open for Def Cat for Cutie, which is a rock band at the Hollywood Bowl. They were called the Beths, and they're from Australia. The lead singer, she's dope. Like I would love to write with her. And yeah, just like kind of like all over the place. I'm just really open. Like I like to write with Taylor Swift. Like
Okay,
something.
okay.
Yeah.
If the opportunity was there, you take it.
Yeah, I want to write with different people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And different genres.
Different genres for sure.
Gotcha. Wow. I like that.
But even if just like local people, like Cam Gnarly, y'all had him on here.
Okay.
I want to work with him. And it'll happen when it's time.
Shout out to him. Let's talk to him.
Cam Gnarly, Noah James, all the greats. And, you know, I'm going to just keep paying my dues and showing love. And then my time going to come.
Boom. Well, we know. We got, since you were able to connect via the internet, social media is even more powerful now. So we're going to connect.
Definitely.
We're going to connect it and we're going to make it happen. Let's make it happen, Elwin.
Make it happen.
We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. You know, it's interesting because I was talking to Cam about it, and I think it would be really cool to have an IE hip hop collective album, kind of like a Wu-Tang, but like from all IE hip hop heads.
That's fire.
I think that'd be so cool.
I
to
did
have.
a playlist a couple months back for that. But it was all their songs they already had out, and I just called it IE Sounds. But I like the idea of an original project, and then we could even get some
with like
IE
7
producers.
MCs on a track.
Classic posse cut.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could even get some Inland Empire producers to produce it.
Of course, the whole thing is IE collective, right? To just have all these dope people from the IE that are in the hip hop scene, maybe some R&B too, but like hip hop based and just like, I just think Wu-Tang, but like for the IE.
That's fire.
Yeah, I would really love. But the question is, we need someone to get behind it. I'd be down, but I'm not as in the trenches with the people of the hip hop community. I'm getting more and more with it. But I think it would be super cool.
Yeah.
But someone has to like go out there, reach. Yeah, spearhead it. Exactly. And I think it would be super cool, man. Would you be interested?
I'd be interested. I mean, I'm down. Put me on the track already.
Got you.
But the whole, do I want to organize it and be responsible? Let me know what we doing.
Got you.
100% I'm on the track.
Hey, get me on. Who am I on with? And imagine the music videos would be fire too.
We have so many directors out here as well.
Man.
We have our own ecosystem.
Yeah, I feel, as I'm talking to you about it, I feel like it's going to become more and more possible because this is the second time I'm bringing it up in public, and I think it's going to happen. I think I'm just going to talk more about it. I think it's going to happen. Like I said, I think the best way to problem solve is by number one, talking about it.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's kind of early in the show, but you know, you're a hip hop artist. You don't like to say rapper, but maybe I can call you an MC.
Sure.
Is that cool?
You call me a rapper too. It's cool.
I like MCs, right? So I'm not sure about your take on freestyling, but if I kick a beat for you, would you freestyle for us?
All right. You want a written or you want a real freestyle?
A real freestyle. We don't do written on here.
Oh, okay. Because I have like a dope, perfect, polished written, or I could just freestyle and we could see what happens.
No. We only do, when we say freestyle, we mean freestyle.
Okay,
Off
I
the
could
top
do that
of the
too.
dome.
I can't control what I say, so
That's
you might
fine.
have to edit it.
That's the whole point why it's a freestyle. Whatever
Okay.
comes.
All right.
You are the vessel.
All right.
Are you down?
I'm down.
He said he's down, folks.
Right now?
Right now.
No beat?
Here, I'm going to kick a beat for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Freestyle session. Commence.
Yeah. Yeah. I let it flow, let it go. If you ain't get it, get the memo, let you know. I got so much heart, yeah, that shit be looking gold. I be kicking classic similes and metaphors, let me tell some more. Kick in the door like I'm Biggie and Don't be babying me. You see, I'm Biggie with it. Supersize, not the fries, just the thighs. When I kick it, emphasize all my bars. Got so much heart, you could see it. Yeah, took a route, I went to scenic. You could see it, you could be it. I'm that sick with it, that gifted, that spitting, that's written. Yo, let me refresh. We next to be up. We up, reload. You know, you see us. Okay, I got some more times, more grind. I'm refined as me, L. I see well at the beach like a seashell. My feet kicked up, I'm living good. Notting Hood, Hollywood, no knocking me. I got the knock with me. Yeah, I got the prophecy. I got the prophecy. I'm about to kick it. I'm so real, you can't see me. I'm an anomaly and I'm gifted. It's translucent. You can see through me cause I'm foolproof and so honest. Go gadget, I'm so modest. I go hard and I'm so onyx. So back the fuck up, don't fuck with me. But luckily I got love for you. What you wanna do, I show you heart, not what a thug would do, but what the truth would do. I hit these niggas feeling bulletproof. I'm seeing through you two, seeing through your crews. I had to do it for the real ones, the shoguns. I show some, I show proof. I show and prove. I'm so sick with it.
So sick with it. Elwin, thank you, man.
Sorry, sometimes I
Yay.
just start stream of thought. So
Hey, no, that's the point. That's the point. Nice.
But I do it for hours. I do that for hours. And
Hey.
sometimes good stuff comes out. Sometimes not the best. Sometimes ill flows. But my quality control always make sure I will get that product out.
Got you. Ill flows with the quality control. Hey, thank you, Owen. It was nice, man. It was nice. You know, I'm a big component of freestyling, and I love it. I love it to death.
It's pure.
I love it. Yeah. It's you know, if we can go back to like expression and freedom and beating the negativity. I think it's the freestyle kind of helps it because it's coming from here and here purely, and so it's just like letting all that deepness out. Mm-hmm. Right? All energy needs to be transformed into something, right?
Right.
And so we're transforming that alchemy, I guess, into something positive, right? You mentioned your mother earlier, right? And I seen on your Instagram that you have a good amount of pictures of your mother on your page, right? What was your importance of your mother to you? Because I feel like you mentioned her a lot, I guess, in comparison to all the things that you mentioned on your page, right? So I guess, yeah, what does she mean to you or mean to you?
Well,
you know,
I will say the page part is more for me to just keep her memory alive. And like when her birthday come up or something, it's just like holding on to the memories because she died when I was 13. Like my little sisters don't even remember her, you know?
Wow.
So it's just powerful to just remember her, how she was. And, you know, I know she's still here in different form, but just hanging on to that, like, is very precious to me. And I always try to like stay in tune with my inner child. So like, it's my mom that's like a direct connection. But I mean, she's the one who loved me more than anything, who taught me everything from the start. And that was my everything, you know? So I think it's just something that could never be replaced. My fiance is the closest thing that could ever like fill that void. I know, like, it's not the same thing, but just like that type of like conditional love and the nurturing and all of that. But yeah, it's just always been like that empty void that can never be filled. And I'm okay with that at this point in my life because some things you can't replace. You feel me?
Period. Yeah. Some people are irreplaceable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's no different than anyone else that loved their mom and had that connection to her and that, you know, was raised like where they love their mom and y'all were just best friends type stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I really like how you said it's mostly just to keep her memory alive, right? And, you know, we're in October, early November, they have in mostly Mexicano culture, Dia de los Muertos, you know, which is remembering our past loved ones.
Oh,
so it's like, it's reminding me of all that right now as we talk about that, you know, remembering the people who have gone, who are family members and people who we care about. So it just reminded me of that, right? And on a different note, your in trade, correct? Are you still in trading? Are you
Yeah.
still?
So yeah, should I speak on that a little?
Yeah. Can you explain what it is first?
Okay. So I am a day trader, which if y'all are on Instagram, you probably seen 1,000 scams about learn to get rich and
Yes.
trade Bitcoin or
Yes.
Forex. So I do the Forex, right? I do the cryptos too. And
What is Forex for people who might not know what
yeah, let's
Forex?
break that down. Forex is just short for foreign exchange. So it's just the trading of currencies, the euro, the dollar,
Okay.
the yen, the pound. And
Gotcha.
what people do is you can sell and buy these currencies against each other. And that's what a lot of people do. You're called a day trader when you do it each day, meaning you're getting in trades every week and you're closing them. But you can look at it no different than say you're an investor or you just have a TD Ameritrade account or something, a Fidelity account, and you say, I'm going to buy Apple. You're a
Okay.
trader too. You go buy Apple, you're a trader, no different. I'm
Gotcha.
just looking at the charts, buying at a certain area, selling at a certain area. But I do a lot of long-term investing. Like right now, I'm just buying Apple. I'm not selling. I'm just keep buying it. Tesla, Rivian, just different companies. So yeah, trading, it really just came as a means because my career just started getting to a point where I couldn't afford it anymore, bro. Like for some of these shows, a couple thousand to do it, and just I didn't have the budget to level up to the level I knew I could be at. I
Yeah.
didn't want to get a loan. I didn't want to partner and give up any leverage. So I put certain things to the back and started focusing on getting my bag because I think what's the point? And I want money, bro. Like I love
Period.
music
I want money.
but I don't want to be some poor rapper who is just chasing some rap dream and clout and giving up all my leverage and getting in shitty deals and like, no. So I had to reassess and trading is one of those get rich quick schemes. But as you know, get rich quick schemes don't work. So 5 years later, I'm a profitable trader.
Wow.
But I did have a big hit with the cryptos because I got in early on certain things. Like I got in Ethereum at like $100.
Wow.
And when it got to like 4,000, I started cashing out.
Wow.
So, and I did that with XRP. So a couple of these cryptos that people got in, I got in them early because that's the whole thing
Gotta
with
be
these
early.
rug pulls. Yeah, once you hear about it, it's too late. You gotta believe in something early and go for it. So, I'm not gonna like teach you guys how to trade or anything like that. You can hit me up, but my one point of advice for anybody investing in anything, grandma, just invest in something you believe in that possibly has a proven track record. But if you believe in it and you see something in it, take your risk on it. But don't just invest in something because someone told you, oh, Bitcoin gonna go up. Because I had everyone asking me, should they get Bitcoin at 60,000? And that's when
Wow.
it dumped.
Yeah.
And now it's at 30,000. But you should have been the person thinking about it at 5,000 or 1,000. So yeah, when I started doing trading, I joined something called Forexia, Forex Investors Alliance, and it was my friend. I met him, Dylan. He's like, y'all might have heard of him online, but he's into the trading. He's really good, man. And then I learned up under him, and basically, I'm not going to get too nerdy with it, but basically, what I learned about trading is basically a psychological game.
Okay.
The markets are all manipulated by the liquidity providers who are like the big banks, right? So they can, and their goal is to appease their clients. They might have Toyota that needs $1 billion exchanged from yen to dollars, USD.
Okay.
So they do things to get them the best rates to compete with other liquidity providers. But part of that game is taking retail traders like us,
Okay.
taking our capital so they can do stuff at a better rate. So they finesse the markets to get regular people in. And now trading is available to everybody with the internet and commission free, and it's all marketed. So that's the whole game. I had to learn the psychological aspect, and that's why I actually call myself a psychological trader. And that
Okay.
whenever I put out my book, that's what it's going to be called, the psychological trader, because you can see things from a fundamental standpoint. That's what we have, fundamentals and technicals. Fundamentals are the news, what's going on in the economy, different reports.
Like the war in Ukraine. How's that going to affect the stock?
Yep.
Okay.
Things like that. And then your technicals are your charts, when you actually pull up a chart and you can say, oh, this is going up or this is going down. Some people rely on either one, but I believe the best traders use both of those, and then they look at things from a psychological standpoint. And that behavior can translate to anything, bro. Like any market, you just got to say, oh, everyone is buying that. I'm finna sell, or that's
Okay.
oversaturated, or so you just pay attention to the trends. Even like sneaker culture, if you see some Yeezys for cheap and you're like, yo, like I can get 10 pairs of these Yeezys and I know I could sell them, I could get them for 200 and I know they're going for 300 on this market. That's knowing the market. But maybe you're like, oh, Yeezys are selling, Yeezys are popping, like, ooh, they're going for 300 on eBay. And then you go buy them, you go pay 270, right? And then you can't even cover your fees. And now they're not hot no more. And now they're going for 230 and now you're out of money. So there's ways around that. Is ways that you can actually start to learn human behavior. It's one last thing I'll get into is called Hegelian dialectic, and it's essentially problem, reaction, solution. And what's going on here is that those liquidity providers they're showing you something on the chart. So they're creating a problem and then we react and then they give us the solution. So not to go too in depth into that, but just the whole economy is a manipulation. So for me, that 50 cent line, you could be a victim or you can lock and load. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about the economy and the markets are manipulated. I'm just going to get mine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with it. You
Yeah.
gotta either be hunted or be the hunter, more or less, right? And I think you kind of answered it. Man, there's so many things I want to talk about it. So many things about it. So I'll start with this. You coach people on how to trade, correct?
Yeah, and I'll be transparent. I've taken a back seat with that because I had a whole Winlife program. I was selling like you can get signals from me. You can did my course. I made a book, and I still have the book, but my strategy has evolved so much that I don't want to really. I mean, it still works.
Yeah.
But I've evolved from that, so I've stepped out of that because the trading game. I don't like a lot of the. It attracts a lot of scammers. It attracts a lot of people who don't want to work for money. They just want to just get rich. They have no discipline. So it takes a lot out of you to stay a coach. So I've backed out from that. I don't do that per se anymore, but I still do the individual coaching calls.
Like
so,
one-on-ones.
One-on-one. So
Okay.
yeah, you can go to simplyelwin.com right now. You can book a session. You can have the calendar on it. You can get right in. So
Got you.
I'll work with you individually, but those programs, it can be a lot, and just constantly providing setups for traders. And it was cool for a while, but now I just focus on my own trading. And if you want to work with me, hit me up.
Got you. Yeah. So you'll coach one-on-one people,
Yep.
basically. And so you did mention like psychological. It's psychological, right? So is there a certain mindset that people need to be, or a character, personality in order to be a trader? Can everyone do it, or do they have to be a psychological person to be able to do this type of trade?
You don't have to trade from a psychological standpoint. You could find a technical setup that just works for you. You could be clueless that there's a market maker manipulating things, and you could still be profitable. But unless you're disciplined, unless you're patient, you're screwed. Because the way the markets are designed, it's just like a casino. It's gonna evoke emotions. It even resembles a heartbeat, how the market moves. So it's designed to make you react a certain way. These are MIT students working in supercomputer offices, and I know people who have been on that side of things, so they can tell me what's behind Oz's curtain. But yeah, you have to have innate characteristics about you, someone who's very detail oriented. If you're somebody who don't want to write anything down, you don't want to journal, you don't want to take notes, you don't want to document your trades spreadsheet, you're going to really, really struggle. So it really just comes down to that personality. If you're somebody who is a gambling addict, you're probably the worst candidate for this.
Okay. Good note.
But I will also say that doing this builds character, because it makes you, we call it demon slaying in the trading world, because you have to
like
face,
the anime?
And I didn't see that.
Got you. Okay. Got you.
But yeah, you're going to face every demon. Like we talked about with the music, it's going to come up. If you keep getting stopped out of a trade and you keep entering, and then every time you put on more money and you blow your account, you got to say, what am I doing? And then you see the next dude over here, they know when to trade. Maybe they don't even trade 3 days because the setup not there. They being patient, but you're doing certain things where you're gambling. Because I say I believe the only difference between gambling and trading is bankroll management or account management. Meaning, if I take this trade, how much of this am I risking for how much? Okay, I'm risking 0.5% on my account. That means I could lose 200 trades before I blow this account. Now, some people might say, this trade gonna work. I'm gonna put on 50%. All in, baby. That's not a trader. And the same for, I'll translate it to like professional poker players.
Yeah.
Because I used to do that. I wasn't a professional. I just played online in like casino, Vegas and stuff. But for me, I like tournament poker because everyone gets in the game. You have the same bankroll. We're all equals. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or you just got the $100 buy-in. We get the equal chips, right? So that's step one. I like that for that. And then step two is each game. Say I have a $10,000 bankroll. Do I get in a $10,000 tournament? No, I get in a $100 tournament. I lose that one, get another one, lose that. But I know if I win one, make 1,000. So all I got to do is win 2 out of 10 and I'm in the profit. So that's the mentality you have to have. And then from there, you just got to work on finding solid setups, start to learn, because you have to have some type of edge, right? But it doesn't have to be the biggest edge if you can be disciplined. Now, this doesn't work in casinos because they're going to stop you, right? They're going to counting cars, they're going to stop your ass, or you winning too much, they're going to cut you off.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's the same logic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super cool. And another thing I want to ask, I think you kind of mentioned it, but I kind of want to address it again. Do you think the market, and I guess it has been proven, but the market can be swayed by certain individuals or certain companies to go certain ways?
100%.
Okay.
That is what goes on.
That is what goes on.
I would say, yeah.
Gotcha. What a great life to be in if you're able to persuade the market to go a certain direction.
You just need enough money. If you have enough money, you could persuade it.
Gotcha. Because wasn't there a case when Elon Musk did that? He made the market move a certain way when he did something?
I wouldn't count it out, but I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Maybe when he cashed out some of his Tesla stocks, I think he like made it dump a lot, but I think he was just doing that for like tax purposes. I don't know.
Man, that's super cool to be able to sway the market.
Well,
That's
you could probably sway the market yourself. If say you find a crypto coin that has no value in it because nobody's trading it, you could probably go throw in $1,000 and see it go up on the chart. So
just like that.
Just like that.
Wow. Yeah. What's your opinion on was it Dogecoin? Is that what it's called?
Poop. It's a meme coin. So I have a friend that did well off of it, and he made his first bag off it. Now he trades professionally.
Wow.
He doesn't trade that. He trades like mini contracts on the different indexes like S&P 500 and stuff in the NASDAQ. But that's how he started. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is cryptocurrency still relevant in your mind today, or is it kind of a fad that has gone?
I'm actually, it's relevant to me. The technology is relevant. The use of it is relevant. Now the bubble might be bursted to where people are just getting rich off it and trying to sell NFTs and all that. I think that's done. But those people weren't in it for the right reason. Like I have all my NFTs. I have
You still have them?
50 of them. I'm keeping them because I bought them because I wanted to keep them. I didn't buy them to flip them. And I think that's the problem. People got into some business they had no knowledge on, got in late and tried to, fight against this machine that's already created. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, find something you believe in, and then get into that. Take a chance on yourself. But yeah, to answer your question, I still believe in it. I'm actually looking at the charts on it, and it looks like they're ready to make pushes up because, in the grand scheme of things, cryptos have been just booming. It's just that there's so much manipulation, and that everyone was just late to the party, and it got so overly marketed on social media, I think.
Okay.
And now there's a high distrust in it from the general public, and the government is not too keen on it because they want to control
everything.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a digital dollar. That's
coming.
It's happening. Yeah.
United States digital dollar, right? Gotcha. I think I've seen something about that.
It's coming. Yeah. And there's so many regulations against different cryptos. So I don't know what's going to happen to it, to be honest, if the government doesn't want to allow it. But I love what it is because it lets me send money to you without involving a bank.
Period.
Yeah.
I remember, you talk about getting into it early. I think I remember one of my homies at the time, I think it was like 2013, maybe even
He might
between
be rich just mentioning that year.
yeah, like between 2010 and 2013, 2014, he was like, yeah, man, there's this thing called Bitcoin. And like they pay, like it's in Europe and they pay with this thing called Bitcoin. And they just use this and you could pay like coffee for it and stuff like that. And I'm like, weird. I don't know. Like, you don't get, like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? And like, I think we kind of just like threw it away. But I remember he told me about it like in that era.
So yeah, I was hearing about it then, but I knew it. You ever heard of the Silk Road?
Oh, the ancient Silk Road.
Not that one though.
Gotcha. Yeah.
There's one on. It's the internet, right? It's like where
Okay.
people can buy narcotics or all the illegal stuff.
Okay.
And it's just the illegal internet dark web.
Dark web. Okay.
And
there we
that
go.
was the currency back then that they were using in 2013. And I had a coworker that would tell me about that. So
Gotcha.
that's how I heard it was people using it for.
Yeah, that's for
Yeah.
the dark web stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't I guess we're gonna go a little bit into the history of Bitcoin. Didn't they say like well, I guess they gave it to like a Japanese guy that created, but they really don't know who actually really created Bitcoin.
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. What's if you don't mind sharing with us, what's the biggest net profit you made off of a single trade?
28,000.
Wow. Wow. So it could really change your life overnight.
It changed my life because I was able to move, set up my like office, and then it got me like in the game, got me some confidence. I could fund other accounts and things like that.
Oh wow. Oh, so you trade on multiple accounts?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a Fidelity account. I have retirement accounts, which we all should have. If you want a link, I could.
Okay.
Everyone should have some type of retirement account. You got to be battling inflation because every year we're getting inflation. Like the value. If you just sit money in your savings, it's depreciating just by the value of it going down.
True.
But if you put it in different money markets, different vehicles, it could at least, even if you go buy Rolexes or Birkin bags or whatever you want to buy, you have to mainly have that mentality to set yourself up because you can't work your way out of poverty. You can't just rely on your Social Security with how expensive things are.
True.
So I think everybody needs to be looking at different accounts. So I have a retirement account. I have a brokerage account where maybe it's stuff I will hold a few years, but like my retirement accounts, I'm not touching those. I have a Coinbase account, like most people have a ledger, just different things. So
gotcha. Basically,
Forex
it's like
account.
this.
It's
like the saying of like you want your money to work for you, not just sit. You want it to work for you, right?
We don't have a choice anymore.
Gotcha.
So I'm encouraging everybody to start thinking like that and start getting your stuff together because you could get sick. Maybe someone you depend on gets sick. Like we don't know what's going to happen, and times are getting crazier.
Yeah.
AI is here. Amazon got their robots working last week. Like if you in the warehouse, you might be out of a job. They telling y'all to go learn engineering skills. So that's my other advice is get
STEM.
your skills up. Yeah, STEM. Yeah.
Get your STEM for sure. And shout out to Earn Your Leisure and today's their Monday marketing. Because they're trying to always help, educate the community.
And I'll shout out Anton Daniels, Millionaire Morning Show, if y'all heard of him. Like, I watch him like every day, and he's just very inspiring and just like very focused on what we're talking about. So,
gotcha. About being educated financially and investing.
Right. Half of this stuff is me regurgitating what he taught me. So I got to shout him out.
Hey, shout out. We'll get another shout out to him?
Anton Daniels, Millionaire Morning Show.
Man, it's super dope. Yeah, because it's these are conversations that some people, I guess you could say, people in upper communities, upper echelon classes have with their kids, like when they're 2 years old.
Right.
We have to learn this the hard way, and some people are older than us, twice our senior, and still are not. Yeah. And so
I'm helping my aunt figure out how to do this. I'm trying to encourage her. While I had a student. On his 21st birthday, he was like, yeah, I'm leaving my valet job. I have enough in my portfolio to live off my dividends. And I was like, how? He's like, well, my dad,
Exactly. It's what keeps the wealthy and the rich in that status is it's all information. That's the only thing that poor people lack, or people in the middle class lack, or people would mostly say the black and brown community lack is the information about this financial literacy, I
But
guess is
now
what we
it's
call.
becoming more of a class thing, even because
Yeah.
like we got wealthy blacks like me and you taking these actions. Well, I'm not saying we're wealthy, but we're taking the steps. We're educating ourselves. We're seeking the information. But then, so yeah, it's definitely a racial component. But I just wanted to mention, like, even now it's getting more like they just separating the classes
Yeah.
more and more. So that's why I want everybody to be okay because I think like some tough times are coming. Not to be negative.
Hey, we got to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, class. Yeah, like I said earlier, it's about class. I agree with you. It's about class. It's not so much race, but it's about class. But ironically or not ironically, a lot of race is based in certain classes. We can say
Because that's
yeah.
how it started in this country.
Yeah.
And there's still a huge correlation. And then there's still people in power who don't want our faces there. But a lot has changed, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
slowly but surely. But yeah, got to get them greenbacks in the right position.
So I urge everybody to just don't use that as an excuse anymore because I used to, and I know I'm light skinned or y'all might be like, am I even black? But yes, I am. And I grew up in that, the impoverished lifestyle. So I can speak to it, but I don't want us to use like, okay, we're black, but now what? Because, and I'm not like
hit
attacking
him.
what you
No, hit him. Hit
right.
him. Hit him.
What
Punch him in the fucking face, Elwin. Punch him.
What I'm
Shit.
saying is, it doesn't matter. You're black, and now what? Like nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares about your disadvantages and what you got against you, and that's just the sad. Maybe your Grammy, but other than that, it's you just got to put that aside and just not let those. Even if you gotta go, if you just the blackest black and nobody want to work with you, or you feel like that because your appearance. Learn engineer and do some engineering online. Go on those websites and put an avatar of a whatever. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing. You can make $1 million doing that. So nothing's just. Maybe you won't get the best treatment when you go to Cracker Barrel or something, but at least in terms of getting resources and being able to feed ourselves and take care of ourselves, there's no excuse. And I think that's the most important thing because I'm at the point in my life where I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to welcome me in your community because I'm going to find my place. There's billions of people on this earth, but I know if I can't feed myself, if I can't pay my bills, I can end up homeless, living in a car. And I just don't want that for anybody. So I'm just urging everybody to take that action. If you were thinking about doing some cybersecurity course or getting a second job or your man, whatever, just you know in your heart. I'm talking to you. You know what you need to do. And if you don't, just pray on it, talk it out, strategize. And every day where you don't know what to do, spend that time trying to figure out what you're going to do, right? Like they say, if you don't have a job, your job is finding a job.
Period. Right. And shout out to Elwin on that, right? Because the truth is a lot of black people primarily will use the race thing as an excuse, and it's just an excuse. Like, and especially if you're a man and you're healthy, you're not ill, get off your ass, get to work, get that money right, or you can stay and then cry about why you're stuck in the same place 20 years later. And
I know because I was there and I was like, Black Israel, Brother for Life, Umar, and all of them dudes turned out to be fraud scammers. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You want to say it again, Elwin, for everybody? Go ahead, man.
All the people we thought were our heroes on that conscious tip end up to be scammers. They were just, maybe there's a couple good ones. The Doctor, Claude Anderson, there's some good ones, but a lot of them, yeah. And we were lied to. So, yeah, and we were used, so.
Basically pulling on that race card, and it's just like no one else. It's interesting because everybody struggles, and obviously I'm not going to say black people don't struggle and still struggle today. But the thing is, when you realize that, yeah, we are, Black American and Black American men, and we have to work maybe twice as hard, 3 times as hard as other people to get to where we need to be, then like the old saying is, you just have to deal with the cards you're dealt with, or another saying is, you're given lemons, so make lemonade. You just have to make it work and just, okay, it is what it is. Another saying, people, it is what it is. Okay, now let me just step up and do what I got to do.
Especially if you got the brain. Like some people are just don't have that brain and I'm speaking to the people that know better and they can do better. Like if you got that brain, put it to use. If you have your 2 legs, Like some people can't walk, man. Some
Yeah.
people like we have a lot that we take for granted. I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. So let's
Yeah.
just try to be aware of that and just take each day as a blessing, man, and just do something to better ourselves, better everybody else, level up, and
Facts.
just live in that light that we are given, man. And like, there's a plan for us,
There is.
and there's a purpose for us, but it's hard to know it every day and be in your purpose. So my advice is just to take action and put yourself out there. Like this interview, I don't know if this is necessarily my purpose, but it feels like I should be here. It feels like I should be saying this right now. And you reached out to me, and I didn't know this would happen, but whatever aligns things in this reality, this realm, it got me here. So
Yeah.
so start to just pay attention to the signs, everyone. Go trust your gut, start to learn how to pay attention to it. Do those things like that you know you need to do so you could be more in tune, whether you need to chill on the pills or the liquor or the bad eating or staying up late. You know, just make an effort. And then the last thing, and I'll pass the mic, is just like we were saying, don't be too hard on yourself. If you're down in a rut, if you went out Friday and you spent your whole check and out at the bar and now you have nothing to show for it, there's always next week, man. There's always tomorrow.
Yeah. And I just want to double down on what Elwin's saying. You know, it's like if you are on drugs and you're partying too hard, getting lit too hard, take a step back from that stuff and reevaluate your life, right? And think about your future. And yes, take every day at a time. You never know what you're going to end up. And I do believe that me and him are supposed to be here right now conversating, because it goes back to the question of you can't... was it nothing or creation? Basically, you know, nothing could exist without a creator existing it. Right. So basically, if this wasn't supposed to happen, then it wouldn't have happened, but it's supposed to happen. So that's why it's happening. You understand what I'm saying? So,
and it's on us to show up.
Exactly.
Meet God halfway, like they say.
Yeah. Like, basically, God gave us free will so we can choose to follow this path or not follow a certain path. And so I just want to double down and say for everybody listening, watching, that you can become the best version of yourself if you want to. So that's the first thing. You have to want to become a better version. The next thing is taking a step towards it and having faith, and then just keep working each day at a time, each moment at a time. Everything takes time. As the old saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your success, but it can happen. Just believe and take a step forward towards it.
And one other saying I hear this guy say, he says, the only hole you can't dig yourself out of is a grave.
Period. Because that's the end.
Yep. So no matter what hole you in, you can dig yourself out.
Yeah, you can crawl out.
Yep.
Grab on. You know, and so Elwin, you're an entrepreneur. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have a clothing line, which is Winlife.
Winlife, yeah.
Right? There is a saying that I like, and I kind of want to know where it came from. And I think it's, what is it? See it with my eyes closed. Where did that come from?
Where'd you hear that at?
It's on the website.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's okay. Because I have
He's
a new
where'd
song.
you hear that?
Because we did a new song, and it's called See It With My Eyes Closed. But it's not
The
out.
song's called that?
Yeah, I always make songs linked with the merch, but the merch might come out first sometimes.
Got
But
you.
yeah,
It's like,
that's
how
See
the
It With
fuck
My
did you-
Eyes Closed.
I've been watching you, Elwin. You're in Riverside, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've been following you.
Yeah, know the address and everything.
Got you. Link.
But yeah, it's just about visualization, basically, and it's just an ironic statement. Close my eyes just so I could see, and sometimes you got to do that. Even if you were seeing me freestyle, you'll notice it was better when I closed my eyes
Because you get less senses.
Yeah, and I can get tapped in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just about just looking within, visualizing whatever it may be, and putting it in your outward world to be, whatever that may be.
Yeah, manifesting that word. Yeah. It's interesting that you say, seeing with your eyes closed, because it makes me think of a Stevie Wonder album called Inner Visions, which is a great album. Check it out if you guys have never checked it out. Shout out to you, Stevie. We're going to get you on here, bro. I'm gonna get you, Stevie. I'm coming. Coming for you, Stevie Wonder. I know you got stuff to talk about. Fucking love you, man. Thank you so much for all you've done.
Yes, sir.
What some of the things that I liked on the page was, I think it was the Eagle and was it Interstellar? No, it's called Outer Stellar.
Yep.
Black Eagle and Outer Stella. I really like those two things. Did you design those? How did that come about?
Yeah, designer. Actually, so I've worked with a designer in Italy, but he's a close friend, but he's just so busy, you don't really have time to create with me anymore. So I'll be honest, I learned AI, man, and like I'll be using the prompts to make me those designs because I'm not an illustrator, but I can, I do graphic design per se and album covers, but now I use AI to
Get to the next level.
to get those designs. I was using prompts using Leonardo AI. Yep.
AI is it's here.
Yeah. It's just how do you make it make sense for you? And for me, I wanted some fire designs and I can't do that myself. And I didn't want to pay somebody and so I figured out how to do it myself.
Got you.
Yeah.
You hired someone that's free.
Well, yeah, I paid the service and that's it.
Yeah,
Yep. And it's just my sweat equity, but then it comes out how I want it and it's fun that way too.
Yeah.
It was a blast making that.
You can get exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Right?
And learn and it's cool, man.
Got you. How would you define the brand style?
It's
and who is it for?
It's for everyone, and I was talking about this morning because I have some ideas for I won't expound upon them too much. But I just want
come on, share with us.
I'm thinking of I want to do a club idea. Like this shirt is like the rowing club, but I want to make like hiking club or some type of club just because I want to make the brand more of a lifestyle. And I do want to get leisure, but I do want to get more into like active wear. I would love to design shoes. So
can you give us an example of like a lifestyle clothing line or lifestyle wear?
So right now I kind of would be more modeled after like a Billionaire Boys Club or a Babe and Ape, right? But I would like to more so pivot into more like an Adidas. Not saying I have to be as big as them, but I like the idea of using technology to make the best things you can wear, things you can put on your feet. So I would love to, I don't have like the resources or the warehouse at this time, but if I can find a company to work with, like I want to make a shoe called like the Flow-Minum, and it's about your momentum of your walk being dispersed properly, and it, just something to just make something proprietary, my own type of technology that could represent me, be different. And just stuff that I would use, because like me personally, what I like to wear is comfortable stuff. Like I'm not gonna wear some Balenciaga triple stacks. Like I'm gonna wear these. These are, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see, but these are the Adidas 4D forwards, and these are the second version. And
I think I got those in pink.
Okay, so it's about they designed the 4D print to disperse your impact a certain way, and they make the prime knit a certain way, and they refine it every time. Like
they're super comfortable.
Super comfortable. Like every year I buy the new Ultra Boost just to see the small changes they make. So like I said, I love technology and everything I do. So right now I more so work with fulfillment companies that drop ship for me. Okay. So it's where I can run it and I can manage it. But in the future I would love to have my own, at least like my own warehouse in my own company to work with. I think this is something I need a partner on for sure.
Gotcha.
But right now it's a one-man show.
Gotcha. And partnerships we're always open to partnerships.
Oh yeah.
With the right partnerships, of course.
The right partnerships.
Excuse me. What was I gonna say? Speaking of partnerships, and correct me if I'm wrong, did you have some with like Ralph Lauren and another company?
Yeah. Okay. So
can you talk to us about that?
I've done quite a bit of influencer work.
And how
it's
that happened?
Kind of just reaching out using different like apps, sites, and then eventually you get like on people's radar or list, and then they reach out to you. But I was doing really good. Last December, my Instagram, Facebook, everything got hacked, so I lost everything, and they stole my credit card. And
wow!
And it had to be like a phishing thing where they got my password from some database or something, but it destroyed me.
Like you were targeted.
Targeted for sure, and they got my page closed. They stole my credit card info from my ad account, and got every page of mine that was linked to that Facebook, including all my Instagram, shut down. So it was a hit, man, because I run my businesses with those.
Of course.
And, it was super, super trying times, like super depressed, everything. And, but I got out of that hole and I rebuilt and got my pages back. And I'm doing good. I'm back on the track where I have my brand. It was visible enough that you found me and we're able to be here. So as long as you can find me and reach out to me, that's what I care about. And
How long ago did this happen?
this was December of almost 2 years ago now.
Gotcha. I was gonna say 2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so yeah, you just kind of you Google, you kind of look on the internet, reached out. But yeah, I did a couple campaigns for Ralph Lauren fragrances. I did one for Prada, and then like I was a Shea Moisture brand ambassador back in 2020, and so yeah, I just kind of put myself out there and reached out, and then you kind of build up a portfolio per se, and yeah, you just I've been asked to do a lot of stuff. But I usually am very particular about what I pick and just want to make sure it like resonates with my brand.
Gotcha. Like it aligns, right?
Like that Ralph Lauren, I'm wearing it today.
Boom.
Yeah. So
Got you. You're not gonna do an alignment for people for like, oh, yeah, we want to beat dogs.
Or like alcohol, unless it's
Gotcha.
like a red wine, because I do drink red wine here.
Okay.
But if it's like some vodka or something like every other artist do, I'm good. Like,
You're
that's
not
not
messing
me.
with it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it may change in the future, but I don't drink. I don't think it's good for people. Nothing wrong with some wine, champagne here and there,
Got
but
you.
like just straight liquor, no. So you won't see me promoting that.
Got you. But if it's like a red one, like
Like
the
a-
Snoop Dogg's wine or something like that,
Yeah, like that would be cool.
that would be super
Yeah,
cool.
And I like red wine, so
It's a win-win.
yep. No pun intended.
Yeah, it's a win. It's a win for Mr. Win. And speaking about the wins, right? I like how everything that's related to what you do has the word win in it, right?
Yeah.
And speaking about that, you also have a podcast, right? And what's the name of the podcast? Can you remind us?
Winlife podcast.
I was going to say Winlife podcast. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to say the wrong name, but I knew it was Winlife. And so, can you tell us a little bit about it, why you started it, and things like that?
Yeah, and then the question I ask every guest, and hopefully you'll be a guest, is so you had the question early, is what does winning at life mean to you? So it's really about winning at life, but we all have different definitions of winning at life. But the general crux or point of the podcast is just for self-development, financial growth, and self-expression. So it's just really about growing, right? But the reason I actually do the podcast is so we can learn from each other, because everybody got their own blueprint. Like there are blueprints you could follow. You might follow someone's to a T on your path, your trajectory, but usually it's going to be a little different from everybody. So when I do the podcast, and we're going to be starting to film season 3 soon. When I do the podcast, it's about getting into the mind, the psychology of the person I'm interviewing, and figuring out like what makes them tick, of course, but like how they got to their path, just kind of how we're doing, learn their story. And then I just ask my questions that are gonna kind of make them spell out their process similarly. And then from there, the hope is that everyone can derive some type of nuggets or see some type of parallel in themselves and then relate that to their own journey.
Gotcha. And what made you want to start this? Because I know you say you have anxiety. You mentioned anxiety earlier, and I'm pretty sure like talking to the mic's kind of it can be nerve-wracking, So why did you start? What made you want to start your pod?
It's something innately in me that makes me want to put myself out there, because I feel like if I don't do it, I'm not living up to my potential and I'm not using what God gave me. So, I would love to just be someone who's content with chilling all day and playing video games. Like I said, I love video games. My backlog is like 500 games, but there's something in me that just makes me want to share, put out there, help others. So it's just, how the Bible tells us, like, we got to help others. It's just a different era and we got different platforms.
Very
and
true.
Also it's just like, I want to brand myself. Branding yourself is important. So it is strategic in a sense that I don't always want to listen to my music. To me, that's a selfish way to create. And I get it because that's your brand, but I wanted to open up my brand to be able to support others. So now I have a platform where I can highlight other people, right? Not just about listen to me. Check out these people. Now I get to add value in other ways, just how you add in value by having me,
Yeah.
But then the guest can add value to the platform. Like, I'm bringing value to your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just an exchange of value. It's a way to collaborate and make something greater than the self by coming together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's, it's so cool. And it goes back to the internet. I think the internet's so beautiful. I like to look at the internet as a double-edged sword, which is like, it's great,
Right.
but it also gave everyone a voice, and not everyone deserves a voice. Talked about this in another thing. And I like how you said, because I think before, back in the day, like, let's say like the 90s, everyone's like, you're just this one thing. Maybe, maybe eventually you become something else, but
Like Tupac in a movie.
yeah, like, like that's something else. Like, oh, wow, like poetic justice.
Right.
But I like, it was normal for you to like, okay, you're just this.
Mm-hmm.
But now we live in a world where it's like, like, I do clothing, I do design, I do all.
You almost can't be just that
One thing.
One thing, right?
Yeah. You can, and some people get away with just being that one thing, which is fine. And
But
they might have
what
other,
I mean, even them, like,
They
they
have
either have a
things-
crazy team, or like, just say Joe Rogan only does his podcast, the biggest podcast, but he still knows his different businesses. He knows all the different things that go into it.
facts, and they have other things behind the scenes. Like Joe Rogan owns this comedy club in Austin, Texas that they're calling Austin, Texas the new place for comedy, actually, and he owns the club that everyone's going to, right? So it's beautiful, like how we're expanding, and I think I guess people are becoming more entrepreneur. I guess I'm using the word kind of wrong, but like
I know. Yeah.
they're becoming bigger financiers and growing their brand and their business sense now.
I think
more.
no one, like, we don't have a choice. Even if you're not like an influencer and you're just not just but say you're a engineer or graphic designer, like, and you're not on social, you still have to have a brand, and your brand could be your LinkedIn or your resume.
Yeah.
So we all have to be brand conscious in this society that we live in if we want to survive.
Gotcha. And I like what you mean, because I think we always have a choice, but I think you're saying you don't have a choice if you want to thrive. You took the words right out of my mouth. If you want to thrive in this world and not be behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I agree. If you don't have a choice, if you want to be.
And that's why I think both of our tone is like this, because I think we're kind of in tune to the climate of society, the migrant stuff, the homelessness, like just how everything is kind of just getting exacerbated. So it's almost like we're just trying to urge people because we want to see people be okay.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm going to be honest and real with you. And I'll be real with you folks too. And I used to be on the aspect of like, yeah, I want to help people and do all these things. And I do care. But I am with the saying, which is like, help those who want to be helped. Right? I'm not going to, I'll show
talking about this.
Yeah, I'll show the horse where the water is and make you drink it. But I'm not going to force you to drink it. It's your choice. And secondly, I'm not going to keep on, what do they say, beating a dead horse. Right? Like either you catch it or not, because it goes back to the water concept.
Yeah, you're going to keep pouring out little drops each time.
Yeah. And you're hurting me more than I'm helping you. And so it's not going to be worth it at that point. And so I've also learned that as I got older, which is like, hey, I'm not going to kill myself to try to help you who don't care for the help.
Yeah. You'll spend your whole life. I have like a lifelong friend that I've been working with, and sometimes you just can't help them.
Yeah, you have to be okay with letting them go.
Yeah. Or just, like, I'll tell them, like, either go see a psychiatrist, or usually the problems are like go to church or go to a psychiatrist usually.
Yeah. And again, you can't force them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could literally drag them to the place and they'll just walk right out. So, and the hardest part, but the most mature part is that who's more important of saving, my life or their life? Because I think as certain men, like and this is a thing that people don't realize, but men, we are strong lovers. We really do care about people. And we have to make sure that we protect ourselves because we care about the people we care about, and we will go lifelong limb to make sure that someone's okay. But, and going back to, I'll use the 4X as a thing, is the investment worth the loss?
Right. And I'll add to that from maybe you're the person that you're like, yo, I can't be pouring out my cup all the time. You're us in this hypothetical. What we should be doing is realizing people that we encounter that are trying to help us, right?
Yeah.
And trying to help us, like open doors for us and better us. Because sometimes we might not, it's different degrees, but yeah, just everybody should internalize that and just pay attention to the signs every day of opportunities and blessings that are in our life. Because half the time we just don't even realize them and we're just so trapped in our little ways. And we all go through that, but sun is shining on us.
True.
Yeah.
True. Like we might have our blinders on going this way, and folks, don't take it wrong, because you may miss an opportunity, but be optimistic and be forward and realize that more opportunities will open themselves up as long as you are prepared for them, is like I like to say. I think, what does it say? That success comes from preparation and luck, basically. And so you have to be prepared for the opportunities, keep working on thyself to become better and seeing things. Elwin, what's one thing, and you can go as deep as you want or not, that people don't know about you, even close people? What's one thing that they don't know?
I don't have it all figured out.
That's pretty easy.
They all think I do.
They do?
I'm that guy who has it all figured out and the mystic friend, but I'm just like y'all and like I'm going through it, I guess my close friends know that, but the perception is just like I'm this vegan. I'm not even vegan, but people think I'm vegan and I'm some hippie and it's all positive and I got it figured out. But that's just the perception I put out online. And it's not because I'm trying to hide or be phony. It's just because I don't want to bring negativity to people. Like I'll keep my shit in the dark. Like I want to bring a light to the internet. But yeah, in terms of like close people, I don't know, like they all know me because I'm pretty open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome, man. What current projects are you working on?
So I'm starting season 3 of the Winlife podcast. So I'm starting to get my list of guests and things like that. I'm always working on music, but this whole year I just kind of took a back seat from doing a whole project and I did the whole single algorithm thing where you just put out singles every 6 to 8 weeks. So it's been a pretty consistent thing for all year. So we're doing that.
How does a single algorithm work?
Oh, okay. So basically, other artists are probably like aware of this, that there's a formula now where instead of putting out full bodies of work, you put out singles because that way you have a new product to continuously put out to the world. And it's just something new content to feed the algorithm instead of one body of work, which would feed the algorithm maybe once. And then, when you drop follow-up content or single related content behind that, you would drop one single and you could do like a lyric video, a physical video, drop the song. So that gives you 3 pieces of content already. And then you just have a cycle where you promote it each, like maybe once every 2 months, a new product. And then that way you have a fresh product. You're not putting in so much resources into completing an album because the album is a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of resources just to have one piece of content, essentially. Even though they're all different songs and you can chop up the content, it's one release date and then people consume that and they might move on. But if you spoon feed them, kind of just try that. Oh, try this. Instead of just giving them a whole plate of food.
Okay.
So that's kind of the general sense of the single structure. And yeah, so I just trying that out, enjoying that, and just kind of chilling because for me it's not hard. I have like a whole bunch of music that I want to put out, but now I'm like being more strategic in how I release it. But I do plan on doing a new album for 2024 called wow, did I just forget? Oh, Alone with My Thoughts.
Alone
with My Thoughts, yeah. So yeah, other than that, that's about it. I'm sure we'll have some new merch and clothing and stuff like that. But yeah, right now I do want to continue to collab and maybe do some other people's content. I've been enjoying being featured on other people's songs for a change and just contributing like that. Like I just did like 3 songs with, I don't know if you know her, Lyrically Aware, and we did her video and we got another video we're working on and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Anything as far as for the trading aspect that you have any projects working on for product?
Not I am working on this book, but this is kind of like a long-term book because
Mm,
it's stuff that I have to learn over time. It's attacking the psychology of trading, and just there's somebody I really look up to. He passed away. He's a trader. If all my traders will know, but Mark Douglas, I think he's the GOAT. So I liken myself as the Black Mark Douglas.
hello.
And it's just, just stop thinking in terms of wins and losses and think in terms of probability. It's the basic principle. But so yeah, that book is it might not come out to 2030, but I'm not rushing that.
Got you.
And so yeah, for other than that, I'll see where I'm taking creative wise. I would love to do an album where I'm not rapping.
Okay.
So but that's something I have to figure out still.
Yeah.
And I think I need to work with some people to help me.
It'll come.
Yeah.
It'll come.
And I think that would be my life album that's so timeless and that everyone will love. And I just got a feeling that I can
Ah,
transcend my box of, oh, you do hip hop. Because everyone likes singing.
very true. Very true. Yeah, I agree. Everyone does love singing. Okay. Elwin, I want to thank you so much for being on The Empire.
Yeah.
Can you please, let's see. Yes. Let's say 100 years pass by, 500 years pass by, a millennia passes by. What would you like your empire to look like, whether it's music, trading, family, lifestyle, mindset? What would you like your empire to look like in the next millennia?
I don't even care about the empire personally, but I would like to be remembered by people. So I don't need a bunch of businesses to stand. Shoot, I'll liquidate those when I'm ready to ride off into the sunset if I don't have kids, right? But I more so just want to be remembered for my message, right? What I try to share with the world, even if I couldn't fully live in that. Maybe it's some type of state I'm trying to obtain. I want to share that with everyone, and I want to impact people. Like when the best thing is when people say my lyrics impact them. When they tell me they recite the lyrics to me. Even when I was a kid back in Chicago, that was happening in high school because I was already rapping it. I remember one time I was like, one of the homies, I was like, I'm not one of them. But then again, I'm one of them. Selling CDs in front of them. Selling CDs to most of them, spitting lyrics in front of them. And I was just talking about being on the block. And then I was like, I'm one of y'all, but I'm not one of y'all. Because I would sell CDs to the hustlers, like the niggas on block all day. Oh, that's the little man with the CDs. That was me. And I'll make $100. I was, when Jay-Z Black Album came out, I made like $250 in high school. Like,
Wow.
so that's kind of I started learning that game. But yeah, just like my homie, like back home, he spit that lyric to me, and I was like, wow, like So that's always the thing. I would love to be like Bob Marley, Tupac. I don't gotta be on that extent, but their legacy, like you on a T-shirt type legacy, that'd be dope. But if it happens, so be it. If not, I just want the people that encounter me, my loved ones, to remember me in a good way. So
I love that,
yeah.
bro. I love that. Yeah, Bob Marley is. I remember someone told me, they said, "Who's the most famous person in the world?" And I said, "I don't know." And he says, "Bob Marley." He's like, "Wherever you go, you'll see a picture of him on the world." And I was like, "Interesting." I was like, "It's a good argument, or it's
Right.
good argument."
Jesus, Bob Marley, Tupac.
Yeah.
White Jesus.
There we go. White Jesus. What Jesus? No tan in Africa. I love it. Yeah, I got to say it. So, so in the Bible, Jesus, his mother and his stepfather, Joseph, they flee to Egypt to hide, right? Ancient Egypt, to be precise. So my question is like, if you're hiding, you have to be able to blend in to hide. So what did those people look like
They were blending in with.
to blend in?
True.
And I'll leave that up to you. I'll leave that up to you, ladies and gentlemen, to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Elwin, thank you so much for being on The Empire, man.
Of course.
Can you please tell everyone how they can find you, reach you, contact you, support you, trade, work with music? Can you please let everyone know how they can do that, man?
Everything is just at Simply Elwin. So simply ELWIN.com. It's essentially like my hub where you can find links to everything that I do. And yeah, I would just go there because you can find all my social. But yeah, Instagram, Simply Elwin. And yeah.
Cool. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll have everything in the description. So in case you're having issues with the spelling, you can just click on it and it'll take you right to where you need to be so you can work with this gentleman here and learn more about this gentleman right here. And I just want to thank him, and I want to thank all you guys. We learned so much today. We learned that, the man is from
Chicago, man.
Chicago. My mind was focused on the story about, he would go in the backyard and pick up bullets with his brother, and then show, the case to his mom, and it's just super wild story. Not many people live a lifestyle like that. Probably some of the bullets are probably still hot, who even knows?
I just thought that was a good story that captured like
The lifestyle.
Yeah, like what it was.
We learned that, he's always been a bright kid. And for some reason, he knew when he was 5 years old in first grade that, he's bright, but he's just going to hustle and not work until he, became into high school or college. And were you guys young and realized, hey, I'm not going to do anything? Do you guys remember when you guys were young and thought things like, do you guys remember even when you were young, what you guys thought, anything? I just remember, if I think about myself personally, borrowing a book with paintings, and then an earthquake happened, and then water from the fish tank filled onto the painting.
How old were you?
I think second grade. That's the first I can think, but
that's wild.
Some
people can, like me, I can remember like some stuff when I was 3 and 4, but some people it stops at like 9. So
yeah, it's amazing. I personally, I think it's kind of cool how you can remember that. I could be lying. I'm not sure if it was second grade, but I know it was definitely before 5th grade. And we just learned so much about this gentleman. How he was very bright, like he said he was when he was young. Went to college, Wisconsin, on a scholarship to take care of things. Right? He's into trading. He's a businessman, entrepreneur. He's been in the ISP, which deals with internet. We learned so much today. I hope you guys had a great time, because I know we did.
I had a great time.
And we learned a lot. And
we're going to do this again, but on my podcast. And I'm going to ask you questions.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Maybe. No, I was joking. We're going to do that. We're definitely going to do that.
You owe me now. So
we're definitely going to do that. Oh, shit. Leverage and options. Yeah, we'll definitely get on. And, again, I want to thank Elwin. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. Please like the video if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Shared. Comment below what you guys thought. My name is Antonio Lee Miles. If you want to support, please, you can do our CashApp, which is $THEE Empire Podcast. Same for Venmo. Same for PayPal. And as the clouds move and the sun rises, we will catch you guys all in the next one. All right?
Peace out.
Peace.